Hello and welcome to Daybreak English. Today we're looking at some vocabulary to talk about your health, specifically injury. Hi, my name's Dawn. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. Today we will learn about injuries and how to talk about them in English. But first, what is an injury? Injury is a noun and refers to when some kind of damage happens to your body that gives you pain. To injure is the verb. There are two ways to communicate about an injury. Have an injury or a be verb plus injured. I have an injury. She has an injury. We can also use an adjective to show what kind of injury. She has a back injury. That shows what body part is injured. But we can also use an adjective to describe the severity of the injury. Severity just means how bad it is. She has a serious injury. A serious injury is a very bad injury. He has a mild injury. A mild injury is not very bad. Be verb plus injured. The present simple. I am injured. He is injured. They are injured. And a question form. Are you injured? Past simple. I was injured. You were injured. And a question. Were you injured? If the injury has just happened, say you're at the scene of some kind of accident, you can also use the present perfect. I have been injured. He has been injured. We have been injured. They have been injured. And a question, have you been injured? We can also use the verb suffered before the noun phrase. It's just saying that the person has experienced an injury. It is a bit more formal. You might hear it worded like this on the news. The woman suffered a serious injury. The man suffered serious injuries. Or we can use the present perfect if the injury is recent and relates to something in the present. I'll give you an example. Pamela has suffered a serious injury and will not be returning to work. Other ways to speak about an injury. You might use these when you visit the doctor or a hospital, or to complain to your friends. Have a sore something. I have a sore leg. She has a sore back. It hurts when. Then you say what it is you do that causes your pain. It hurts when I walk. It hurts when he writes. My something hurts. My nose hurts. My ear hurts. My toe hurts. Now we'll talk about different types of injuries. Cuts and bruises. A cut is when the skin has cleanly opened up. A cut will bleed. If it doesn't bleed, then it's just a scratch. To treat a small cut, you might use a plaster, sometimes called a sticking plaster or a band-aid after a particular brand. Or for larger cuts, you would use a bandage. That's a long piece of fabric that winds around the wound. Oh yeah, a wound is what we call the damaged part. Wound. It is spelled exactly the same as the past tense of wind, but pronounced differently. So I could say, I wound the bandage around the wound. It's a bit confusing. Sorry about that. Oh, English, you crazy language. What are you doing to us? Broken skin is what we call it when the top layer of skin is open, but it doesn't always bleed. It depends on how deep the wound is. So, for example, a bite might break the skin but not go deep enough to cause bleeding. A scratch, that we talked about before, is also broken skin, but it doesn't bleed. A first aider might ask if there is any broken skin. So if the skin has opened at all, then yes, the skin is broken, even if it is not bleeding. A first aider is a person who treats injuries at the scene of an accident until the person can get further medical help. A bruise is when the skin is not broken. It has a reddish-blue colour. Another word for a bruise is a contusion. That's the formal term. Bruise is a noun, but it can also be a verb, to bruise someone or something. We use bruise with a be verb or have. My foot is bruised. I have bruised my foot. Or you could say, I have got a bruise on my foot. Strains and sprains. A strain is when you overstretch a muscle or connective tissue. Ligaments and tendons. Ligaments connect bone to bone, and tendons connect muscle to bone. Strains are a little painful, but usually not very serious and don't take long to heal. We often use the verb pull informally to talk about a strain. I have pulled a muscle. I have pulled a tendon. I have pulled a ligament. Or we can just use strain. I have muscle strain. I have a strained tendon. I have a strained ligament. But a sprain is more serious than a strain. They're very similar words, but do mean different things. A sprain is when a joint is wrenched or twisted, and it's quite painful. It is very common to have a sprained wrist or ankle. With a sprain, there is usually swelling, so the joint puffs up and gets bigger. The adjective to describe this is swollen. My foot is swollen. I have twisted my ankle. I think I have sprained my ankle. I have a sprained wrist. Fractures and breaks. When a bone snaps, it is said to be fractured or broken. A fractured bone, a broken bone. Broken is more commonly used informally, but medical staff will use fractured. The past participle and the adjective are the same word in both cases. For example, I have fractured my arm. Here it's a verb. She has fractured her leg. I have a fractured arm. Now it is an adjective. My wrist is fractured. The same goes for broken. I have broken my arm. She has broken her leg. I have a broken arm. My wrist is broken. When you break a bone, it is often set in a cast, usually made of plaster or fiberglass, which sets hard. Or you might have a splint, which is removable. You can take it off and put it back on. Burns. A burn is damage that happens to your skin because of heat, overexposure to the sun, so that's sunburn, or other radiation. It can also be caused by harsh chemicals or contact with electricity. Burn can be a noun or a verb. Use it with a be verb. Be burnt. To use the noun, I have a burn. For be verb plus burnt, I am burnt. I was burnt in a fire. You were burnt by the oven. Or you can use the present perfect if it is a recent injury. I have burned my leg. She has burned her finger. You might have noticed that I've used two different spellings for burnt. Both are acceptable. Use whichever one you think suits you best. We can also use burnt or burned as an adjective. I have a burnt finger. Your leg is burned. Burns are measured in severity using the term degree. First-degree burns are only on the surface of the skin, the first layer, and mild in severity. They don't usually need a doctor. Second-degree burns affect the first and second layer of the skin and are usually very painful. The skin might also develop blisters. That's when the skin swells up and fills with a liquid that we call pus. Pus. Not a nice word. Third-degree burns are when all three layers of the skin are damaged. This is the most serious type of burn. When you have a burn from hot water or steam, we call it a scald, which can be a noun or a verb. The past tense and the past participle are scalded. I have scalded my hand. I have a scald on my hand from the kettle steam. Again, we can use it as an adjective. She has a scalded leg. Okay, that's all for today. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Wherever you are, have a good day. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. Remember to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Why not check out this video? See you again soon. Bye.